Good morning to everyone on the West Coast and good afternoon to the people on the East Coast. It's 3/16 of 2013 and good day or evening to everyone around the world that we have in our trader network. Once again, I have a very nice thing to show you. We traded this during the week and we made a lot of money, and the weekly movement was $68.57. That's this weekly movement. There was a headline that we had traded on it. There was another weekly movement that was $86 intraday, and that was one that we caught on 2/24 calendar 2013. The total weekly movement, even though most of it was done intraday, was $86. Then we came back with another $68.58 on a weekly reversal, which made the puts pay bigger than big. And we have all the live trading videos in a series about these daily alerts that went off. One of the things that we would love to highlight is that when you open an account and we give you money, you can get involved in the SMF stock exchange, the SMF options exchange. We're market makers and we have our own price prints within the public prints. You can get these alerts, you can get these entries, you can even get the yearly training, the monthly training. Most important thing is learn how to trade within high trading frequency models in the markets. High profit trades, we're showing them to you now. This is what the alert service, it's better than anything you have going on right now. And what makes it great, once again, is that the ISRG alert would have done you quite well. You don't have to have experience. Just know that we're going to give you money. And what are we going to give you? We're going to give you buying power. $2,500 minimum. You can open an account. And what does that mean? You get 15,000 intraday. You have a $10,000 account, 15 to 1 buying power intraday with the market maker alerts at the entries and the exits with the profits, things that you have a very hard time accomplishing. So we're willing to give you the money, and then you can do what the market maker tells you at the prices and get the alerts when you're in the live trading room during the day. Don't pass up success. Don't pass up or let opportunities go by you. We are full of them here. Believe me. Now, when we are looking at what Intuitive Surgical does, they're going to report earnings. It's a very volatile stock. There is a problem that they're suffering with right now, and it's the safety of their Vinci units. It's the safety that is being investigated. So the safety of the procedures that they use in a robotic surgery and oncologist, uh, there is some concerns that they are looking at um, what would happen if they continue to do these procedures. If they're not safe, then the company is going to lose revenues, period. And I'm going to discuss that. The robotic surgery that's done with hysterectomy is at significant risk to ISRG, the company. And there's a lot of concerns of the safety of that procedure with the Da Vinci safety. This is what had the headlines take the stock. But the stock, we were buying puts up here because it was overbought. Last earnings, they zipped it right up on the last quarter. When we reported in January quarter, we went straight up to the resistance levels. Once it hit it, once again, you hit a multi-year high off of those last earnings at a major resistance level. And then the news comes out and we're below 100-week simple moving average. We broke below it. 470.68 would be that resistance level in the short term. We will be taking a look at what this name does. We will want to buy it. On April 18th, after hours, it's going to report earnings. We're going to look to buy dips and we're going to trade it at the major key support levels. You can go back over here. This is going to be this trend line right here. That's at 430.78 right there. 476 on this weekly will be that upper end of that resistance levels, that any volatility from the upside, it does trade big. Look at that weekly wick off of the bottom here. When we went straight down, we bounced right back up before coming down and taking out this low right here. This is the kind of volatility that we love, because let me show you why, MMT. Everyone was here. Some people were. When we got to that first intraday announcement, the high, right when the headline hit and we got short, went down to 492. From 492, it came all the way back up here off of the bottom that day. And here's the other thing they did. Buying that dip off of that intraday bottom where all the shorts were making a ton of money like us, buy to cover, and you get those big, that it's a weekly wick, but it all happened on an intraday level now. So when we draw a trend line over here, the headlines continue to come out, and because we have, the way that we get our alerts, we get them right when they come out. But take a look at the high here at 551. So here's what I want to point out as far as the volatility goes. I go from 492 right back to 451, which made that major resistance, and the 450 puts come immediately into play, and we made another monumental low right there from the volatility. So you do get upside volatility on that intraday level from this headline when it came out right here and we got short again. The puts are paying in the longer term over here now, and we have a complete part 1, 2, and 3 trade series with live trades during live market hours. We're just recapping this major support level because, once again, we would want to trade that upside volatility to this major neckline right here from this bottom. We'll see if it holds or not on Monday, but it would come right back up in the volatility to the, I would get long up to resistance, and then I would sell and get short again before making another lower low. Now, there's going to be a lot of headlines. There's going to be a lot of controversy around the safetyness of these operating procedures that are in a high concern level, meaning that people are looking at it. The FDA is looking at it. They projected a lot of revenue with using these procedures. We don't know if they're going to rule against them or not. If they decide to say, hey, it's okay, then the revenues would still stay in line in ISRG, and we would have a huge move off of the bottom. Should that be the case, we are on high alert for anything that can happen. But here's half of the weekly bar roughly. I'll have to use our platform to get the exact math. But this says that we could trade right about 487, so we could go right up here to half of that bar before doing what? Rolling over again. But let it be known, MMT and people around the world, is that it's going to be headline driven. It's going to be earnings driven. Look, here's the thing. Everything is going to have a support level. But this weekly overbought level, and we have lots of charts right now that look just like this right now in the weekly level that I've done today. And I would look at everything we've done with our MMTs. We'll go back and look at what we've done today. Look at weekly resistance and overbought levels. This is just a major headline. It was going to come down. We were short because of that reason. We just got the headlines to go along with it and get paid. You can get paid too with that alert. Now, let's take a look over here. So we know that it's headline driven. We know that the company is going to try to come out and defend itself. But once again, they are going to have to get a resolution to the safetyness of this procedure. If it pans out that they can do these procedures without harming the patient in a robotic setting, in that particular procedure, it's a phenomenal company. However, we are going to take a look at this trend line that we're sitting on. Right here is where that breakout to the high went. So, here it is, right here. Look at that lower trend line. It's right here. Bam. There's the high. Remember when we shorted it last year, they lost it on the earnings and you went down, and we were short that too. And it was based on the fundamentals not being, able to meet expectations per se. And they did it again over here. A big drop on a weekly level. And this is how it trades. But the good thing about it is that we'll be on high alert. We'll let the news, we'll let the government agencies figure out how safe their machines are to use in surgeries. And we're going to be understanding that if we break that trend line, and you already broke the 100-week moving average, weekly moving average, and this support line right here, we're coming right there. We're within pennies of it, 452. Intuitive Surgical, 33.59 intraday. Put option, monthly, paid bigger than any option out here on the market. There was no other option out here that could have paid you that big. Whether it would have been a call or a put. This one paid bigger than big. And my friends, this is what we live for. And you deserve to be in on these big moves. That's why you need to get with us. We're here to help you. We'll stand behind you. We'll give you everything that you need and all the alerts. It is a special preview because when I break, that means that 100-week moving average is going to be my upside resistance. Now, when I take a look at the lower support level of 428, that's going to be the calendar 2000 low here. And if we sold down there, we would probably enter a weekly sell signal on this name. This name is a very, very powerful name. In 2010, it loves to shake out the buyers, but makes all-time highs. Now, when we get into the earnings structure, what would that revenue cost the company should this go against the company, and what loss of that revenue would play into the balance sheet that would have to take Intuitive Surgical to lower levels that would be buyable, but the company's value would still be there. And we have to sort it all out. But we'll trade it the way that it wants to trade. We'll trade the upside volatility just like this downside volatility. I will tell everybody that it will be very headline driven. We got the calendar earnings coming up. Support weekly level 1, weekly level 2 down here. That's this lower line. I'll even go as far as to give my MMTs this lower level over here. Let's draw a horizontal trend line for you, MMT. That's going to be that. That's down here at $410. And these are going to be the support levels. The earnings that come out on April 18th, we're going to trade a certain way between now and then. But we're not far from creating a weekly sell signal on the name. And this name, very rarely, unless it's in earnings, does it dip down into a weekly sell signal. Then it only lasts for a couple of weeks, and then that volatility. Big money is buried in the stock, just so you know, and they're losing. They're losing because people don't know when to sell. And when this starts to happen, we know how Apple has sold down from its highs that we called. So basically, Intuitive Surgical is a great company. We're going to, the lower that we drop, the bigger short-term support levels that we'll have, and we'll trade it off the bottom on intraday only. We'll look at the different various strike prices because you see this thing could whip up just as fast as it whipped down in a weekly level, which was $68. Volatility plays both hands. But the 200-week moving average is way, way, way down here. So on April 18th, if they say something bad, they missed the earnings, they guide down, we could come into play, and at that time they could gap it down right here. based on a bad earnings report, but that won't be till April 18th. We'll trade it intraday every day like we do. We'll alert it every day, and it's a great trade. And the calls are potentially going to pay very big money as well. The call side of the market at support level. So the bear has already got paid to here. Bear can still get paid a little bit more if it wants to break that level. But then there's going to be where the bull on the call side, they get very, 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 very cheap. Those are going to be tradable for big gains as well. Big gains. And I said big gains.